Yeah, 100%. And Go High Level is we use it for our business. It's a very phenomenal for everything. Speed to lead and I ask you because when we do marketing as well, that's what I look at as well because I don't want them to pointing fingers at me and saying you're not doing good in marketing. Like no, I'm like look, I'm like and you have to be kind of smart as not smart, but you have to be careful as well. At least for me, in a way like for example, the way I do it, so when we set up some automations, right, and some lead flows, like some welcome email campaign or things like that, I tend to say, hey, so how does your, I'll be curious to meet your staff, your front desk or the person calling these leads, just to kind of learn a little bit about more what your process is or what what do they say? Yeah, they get, concerned like, oh, why do you need to talk to my salesperson? Like, are you? And I was like, well, and what I tell them, I'm like, well, I need to understand because when you do a follow up nurture, you want to follow. They might be busy, they might be on vacation, whatever the case might be. Those systems are put in place so then they nurture them, right? So you don't have to be on top of it. So if you are busy on a call, in a conference call, whatever, sick, you still have those things in place, And so what I tell them, I'm like, I use those most frequently asked questions that you get asked from your clinic.
Hmm.
And then I essentially put that into the email campaign or whatever campaign I'm creating to answer those
Yes.
very important questions. So like that's kind of and then I kind of gauge, kind of get a feel of them of like, okay, like are they actually, highly trained, so then obviously and going back to trust, right? Obviously if they trust you, then you can kind of, work your way in there and kind of help them get that. And then without telling them, sorry, your front desk sucks, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I get that all the time, right? But speed to lead is key. There was actually a study that I stumbled upon that I believe that 78, sort of like high 70s, 78% of leads usually decide to go with that company if for the companies that answer within 5 minutes or less.
Yeah. Yeah. Because again, right, if we go back to, the qualifying a lead, right? Like, who are we looking for? We need to take that step inside of them though and go, what are they looking for, right? And what they're looking for is not a traditional medical experience, right? The traditional medical experience is I call and I can get an appointment in 3 months from now, right? They pick up the phone and they put me on hold, right? It rings and rings and rings and I have to call back. You want to layer out for yourself, what is the most elite experience that I personally could experience if I was to call a clinic? What does that experience look like? Right? If I send a lead, how quickly do I get a follow up? How well informed are they that they can answer these questions? How do they get me excited about what it is that I'm trying to do? How much do they personalize what they're talking about so that it relates to what my goals are personally?